Come play with me? Have you ever heard of Hanako-san of the toilet, a famous ghost story among Japanese children? In this article, I would like to introduce the spirit of a girl who is rumored to appear in elementary schools in all regions of Japan. This is a story I heard from a relative of mine. It was in the 1980s at an elementary school in a country town. It was 5 p.m. and the setting sun was turning the school red. Amidst the sound of dead leaves, there were 4 children outside the closed school gate. There was Takeshi, a wimpy boy, Kenta, always calm and collected, Akiko, generous, and Yuri, timid. All the children were 10 years old and in elementary school. The children were gathering at a friend's house to study as the time was approaching when they had to go home, and they lied about it. Why were they gathering? It was to meet Hanako-san, who is rumored to appear at this abandoned school these days. The children's gazes were fixed on the old school, which is no longer in use. Although it was still light, the abandoned school looked very eerie. The main gate was made of old iron, and its distorted shape created an indescribable sense of foreboding. The children gasped as they passed through the gate and opened the door to the school building. The children proceeded silently through the school building. The old hallway is made of wood, the floor creaks, and their tension grows. The hallway is rotten in places and has large holes in the wood. As the children stepped inside the abandoned school, a dusty air enveloped them. They walked down the dimly lit hallway and gazed into classrooms that were once crowded with children. The floor was littered with old textbooks, pencils, and blackboard erasers that were years old. The children explored the school building without speaking to one another. Eventually they reached the 3rd floor of the school. The sound of water dripping from somewhere adds to the tension. Is the rumor of Hanako-san the toilet girl in this school true? They stopped in front of the door to the girls' restroom while talking about such things. At that moment, they heard a sudden gust of wind coming from the back of the restroom, where the window was supposed to be closed. The door slowly opened and cold air drifted from inside the restroom. It was as if someone was inviting them to come into the bathroom. The sight sends a chill down their spines. They looked at each other, then gathered their courage and stepped into the restroom. Inside the women's restroom was a dingy, cracked mirror and a hand wash basin. 5 private rooms are lined up against the wall. The 3rd private room from the back is the rumored private room. How to meet Hanako-san. It is said, knock 3 times on the door of the 3rd private room from the back of the girls' restroom on the 3rd floor of the school and call out. The children, looking at each other, go to the 3rd private room from the back. Amidst their growing fear, Takeshi gathers his courage, knocks 3 times on the door, and asks the door, Hanako-san, are you there? He asks the door. They hold their breath and listen carefully. But there is no response. Kenta tries again, but there seems to be no response. Yuri tries again, but there seems to be no response. Yuri tries knocking again. Just as her small hand touches the door, they suddenly hear a noise in the bathroom. They look at each other in surprise. Then Akiko asked in a small voice, Hanako-san, are you there? Yes. Then a fading voice came back and at the same time the door slowly opened. Emerging from inside was a girl with black hair in a bob style, wearing a white blouse and a red skirt. Her skin was pale and she looked lifeless. The children's faces turned pale all at once. They became motionless with fear. Hanako-san approaches the children. Her eyes were cold and staring into the distance as if she could see through their souls. The children cannot run away or raise their voices. Come play with me? Hanako stops in front of the children and whispers in a fading voice. At her words, the children's fear deepens. They were acutely aware that playing in this abandoned school had brought disaster upon them. The children ran away. They run frantically through the dimly lit corridors of the abandoned school. But no matter where they ran, each of them running to a different path, no matter where they hid, Hanako-san's figure would appear before them. Takeshi attempts to leave the school, but for some reason the gate will not open. Eventually, Takeshi feels his strength limit and his breath catches. He stops. Come play with me? At that moment, Hanako appears before him and captures Takeshi. Akiko notices Takeshi's screams and looks out the school building window. There she sees Takeshi being dragged away by Hanako-san. Come play with me? A voice is in his ear and he turns to see Hanako-san there. Akiko's screams echo through the school building. The children continue to cry and run away. Yuri then slips and falls. She struggles to get up, but Hanako-san appears. Come play with me? Yuri is also dragged into the other world. Kenta continues to run away, tears streaming down his face. But no matter how hard he runs, Hanako-san relentlessly pursues him. With his last ounce of strength, Kenta takes a metal bat from the warehouse. "Come play with me?" Kenta hears a voice in his ear, and as soon as he turns around, he swings the bat as hard as he can. The bat hits Hanako in the head and she lies there bleeding. "Come play with me?" I must have just knocked her down, but somehow I can still hear it in my ear. I swing the bat selflessly and she falls backwards, bleeding. "Come play with me?" "Stop it!" Takeshi shouts, swinging the bat madly. Kenta continued to hit Hanako, who was already lying on the ground, with the bat. Suddenly Kenta came to his senses. At his feet, Takeshi, Akiko, and Yuri were lying in a state of utter disarray.